over $12,000 on his very first deal using Bandit signs to find that deal and only pulling up a $10 earnest money deposit to lock up the deal with that motivated seller. How did my man Kyle from the Atlanta area do it? Well, he's here to share his story. So you know what you need to do is stand by. Let's get it.
Flip man, it's the flip man. You want some money in your hand? Flipping houses without credit or your cash. Get that bag.
Hello guys, this is Ty, aka the Flip Man, and today we have my man Kyle out of the Atlanta metro area, and he's here today to share his story on his first deal. He made $12,650 on his first deal using Bandit signs, and I'm eager to hear the story. I didn't get all the details. I'd like to keep it fresh or whatever, and so enough of me yapping. How's it going, Kyle?
Going good, man. How you doing?
Oh, I'm super tight, my man. 2021 is here now. The end of 2020 was pretty rough for me, medically, physically, I guess, health-wise. But hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So just to get into it, man, you know, I like to always try to start with some background to give us a little bit about who you are and what you were doing before you even got, I guess, interested in real estate and discovered my content and I guess others. And we go from there.
Absolutely. Well, I'm from South Carolina originally. Been here in Metro Atlanta since I was about 12. I'm 33 now. Diddled around in college for a few years. Got in college over at Clayton State in Morrow, South Side Atlanta, when I was like 22 probably. Kind of got in it late. Didn't really know what I wanted to do. Wanted to go to nursing, but my GPA was a little bit low, like fraction of a point or something. I was working full time overnight at psych hospitals, working at the crazy house all around Atlanta. So I fit right in, but it was good, man. That was a great job for school, but I was working overnight. My grades were suffering a little. Anyway, I wanted to get into a physical therapy program over at Atlanta Tech, physical therapist assistant. Doing well with that. Graduated in 2018. So I have a good day job. It's flexible. I do home health, so I drive around all day. I might get 20, 30 visits a week assigned to me, and then I just go and basically work with like grandmas and elderly that maybe had a knee surgery, something like that. But anyway, so I'm driving all day. But let me take it back further than that. I guess I kind of got introduced to real estate stuff by probably Grant Cardone, man. The big crook. He's catching a lot of heat right now. I don't know if he's a crook, but he's catching some shit right now. So anyway, I think I read 10X or one of his books, found Bigger Pockets. I think he was talking about multifamily. And then I found Bigger Pockets and I said, okay, well, they were talking about house hacking, 3-4 years ago. That was kind of a popping, very popular, I guess, strategy for new investors. So started looking into that, and that was my plan, was to get out of school, save up a down payment, and then get a duplex or a quadplex or something. Anyway, so didn't really do that.
How old were you then?
Late 20s, probably 28, something like that.
Okay.
I knew I was going to graduate school at 18, so I was trying to gear up for that. Didn't have any money saved or anything, just as a college student struggling. But I finally graduated, and so that's, as far as academia, that's kind of where I was at a couple years ago.
Okay. All right. So basically you got introduced to, I guess your interest got really struck by Cardone or whatever. Fast forward, what got you, I guess you put it down for a minute and then picked it back up. If you could fast forward to when you picked it back up.
Absolutely. I realized the duplex thing, it was really hard to find them. I actually got access to the MLS while I was finishing up school through a coworker. She was an agent. And I was just seeing a lot of the duplexes and triplexes in the area. Saw some in Norcross, all over. but the prices were high, man. Everybody was getting on multifamily by then already, in its own market. I was looking on market. Anyway, last year I was, maybe a year and a half ago, I was introduced to wholesaling. One of my buddies from Florida, his friend said he was wholesaling. So I was like, okay, well, let me look into this. Then I started watching a lot of your videos, started binging your videos, trying to figure out how I could get in the game without really having any knowledge or money.
Correct.
Bandit signs popped up. I went to cheap, dirt cheap signs, ordered me 100-pack. Wasn't too bad. It was like $300,
Mm-hmm.
Since then, I've found a plastic company up the street that does it.
Okay.
I was watching some guy's video, and he was saying find a plastic company in the area and see if they sell the corrugated sheeting. Anyway, now I'm getting those from them. But anyway, I got dirt cheap signs, put them out, probably put out like 30, and then maybe put out another 20. By the time I moved a few months ago, I still had 50 left, but I kind of just put it down. I didn't really get any calls from that 50-pack. So I still have 50 left. Anyway, I think 3 months ago, I was talking to my friend who moved up in Michigan. He'd already done 5 or 6 wholesale deals, my buddy Travis.
Mm-hmm.
So we was talking. I was having a beer, chatting up with him on the phone, and I'm like, man, okay, so you're really doing these deals up here, And that was like really the first person that I met, that was a peer of mine doing deals.
Right.
So I said, I got to pick this back up, put more signs out. Found some the plastic sheeting company up the street, ordered some more, and I wound up getting a few calls.
So were you when you're dealing with the plastic company, which I've actually done that before locally? So you were a handwriting, or they did printing also?
Yeah. Me and my girl we're filling them out, and I think I've heard some people say the handwritten signs work better, but it's a pain. We're getting to the point where it's kind of being a pain in the butt,
Yeah, I've done it before. Also, it can be taxing.
Man, carpal tunnel city, man. It's a lot of writing, but yeah, we did that. I actually got my first call over in Covington. This was, I think, I got some more calls. I'll tell you what, I got one lady called me. She said she had a house.
Well, just to get a timeline, how long ago did you? I know you put out the first initial signs, really didn't do your move. Well, when did you all put signs back out again, if you remember?
Yeah, when I talked to Travis, I kind of got some fire back under me. That was probably October or September.
Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah, so I put out those other 50 signs I had left over from my initial batch.
Mm-hmm.
Bought some more handwritten signs, put them out. Had one lady call me, man. She was like this old Caribbean lady. She had a house fully paid off that was vacant.
Oh,
but I didn't know what I was doing. I was so excited that she called me. I didn't even pre-qualify or anything on the phone. So I went to her house. She was nuts. Oh, these people trying to scam me out of my money, and just going off. I didn't get a word in, man. The house was in real bad shape. She wanted full retail.
Oh wow, yeah, you'll get that. You'll get that. Go ahead.
She had to pay it off. I asked, I was like, oh, would you be interested in taking your payments in installments or whatever? Didn't really know how to wrap that. How to spit it out to her.
Yeah.
She's like, oh no, I don't want to do that. No. So anyway, she still has the house full retail. It failed on the market for a year. Anyway, not very motivated. I wound up getting another call off one, and the guy, I didn't even know who was calling. I picked it up. I thought it was a bill collector. I'm like, doing my funny voice, kind of harassing the bill collectors. He's like, I got a house. I saw your sign. So I'm thinking like he's pissed, like somebody from the city pissed off or something. So I'm like, okay, where you at? Anyway, I put a Bandit sign in the front of a neighborhood that's like pretty crummy neighborhood in Covington. A lot of rentals, but he had a rental. He wanted to move up to Virginia, take care of his mom, and he wanted to let it go, man.
Okay. All right. So I guess first, was it vacant?
It was not vacant. Section 8 tenant in there has been in there for 10 years since he bought the property.
Okay. All right. And so what were the numbers on that as far as the rent that they were collecting?
Okay, he was getting Section 8. He didn't really have a contract lease or anything with him. He's just a good old boy. He got him in there 10 years ago. They were paying $1,100, I think, a month. Section 8 was paying that to him, so he was getting a check straight to his account.
Right.
I was like, well, do you have a lease with them? Oh no, I remember signing something the first year, but he didn't really remember because it had been a decade had passed. So he, yeah, 1,100.
All right. So, okay, as far as you gathered that information, you knew it was a rented property. So what were the numbers on it? What price did you negotiate? Hey, well, how did that go as far as the negotiations with them?
Well, I watched some videos on an anchor price. So I pulled up, luckily it had a lot of comps because every house was the same on the street.
Okay, good.
And flippers had already been in there. So I went in prop stream. My buddy Travis was letting me borrow his prop stream at the time.
Okay.
So I go in, or deal you later. So I was on a deal you later, and it was hella comps. So I was like, okay, this is gonna be easy. So I go into cash price. You know, I looked at half a mile radius. A lot of them were on the same street, like 3 or 4 comps on the same street. So I said, okay, one sold for 165.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, okay, that's the ARV.
Okay.
And I looked up cash sales, and I found one that was 75 grand. Like a wholesaler sold it to somebody or whatever.
I got
so,
you.
I said, all right, sir. I said, well, I'm looking. I see one that sold for 75 grand a few months back, or actually last month. And I kind of hear him gritting his teeth. He's like, well, I really wanted what the tax assessor put on there. I was thinking it was like 97. And I said, well, look, I said, this one sold 75. I said, I could probably do 83, 84.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I said, mull it over. I said, chew it up and get back to me in the morning and let me know. You know, kind of, newbie. Definitely. I mean, I'm still a newbie. I really haven't been on the calls like that. But yeah, he called me back the next day. He said he could do 90. So I was like, all right, well, cool.
Boom. Okay. All right. So as far as the contract process, how did you handle that?
My friend, he had some attorney. He had some contracts that he got from attorneys. He kind of modified them for Michigan because that's where he's at. Okay. So I just changed it back, docu-signed it, sent it over to him. He's an older cat, but he did have an email. That was cool. Okay. He was in Virginia. Boom. Sent it back over, man, and I put it straight in escrow.
Okay, so you went ahead and submitted it to the title company or whatever. All right, so the buyer side of it. So what did you do to find your buyer, and what price were you marketing it at?
Well, I sent it over to the attorney. I said, okay, well, how am I going to get this off? I watched a lot of videos on how to build buyers lists. You know, I've attended a few RIAs. So first I emailed. I was like copying and pasting all the emails from these RIAs that I've been CC'd, in my email like 2 years ago. Got a few bites from that, but I just posted it on Facebook, man. I'm a member of a lot of the wholesaling investor groups on Facebook.
Yes, sir.
Got a lot of people hit me up. Had one guy hit me up, kind of stalled me out for 3 or 4 days. He was like, he offered me, well, I put it up for 104. So I said, okay, I got it under contract for 90. I said, let me put it on here for 104 and see what I can do. Got a guy. He wasn't really a tire kicker. I think he was a buyer, like with a hedge fund or something. But he said that like 3 or 4 days in, he actually sent an inspector out. So I told the seller, I said, look, man, I got a guy coming by. He needs to do an inspection on the home. I went over there first and took a bunch of pictures so I could send it out on my post. But then this one buyer had him go over there do an inspection. So I said, okay, well, this is probably a wrap. It's looks like it's going well. But he stalled me out for another 2 or 3 days. I sent him the contract, no response, blah, blah, blah. He's saying he's running the numbers. Wound up saying that he couldn't do it because of the tenants. He didn't want to have to lock it up with those tenants in there at 1,100 and have to deal with how to deal with the housing authority and all that, trying to renegotiate. Because I think here you have to renegotiate it. Okay. Like, the Section 8 rents. But really that rent probably could have been closer to 1,400 or something. So I kind of understood what he was saying. Had a couple other guys in my inbox on Facebook, and one said he'd take it for 104. Or not 104. 104. 104. Mm-hmm. He wound up renegotiating me down a little bit because of some issues I had with the closing attorney. I guess there was some communication issues. We didn't close on the 15th like we wanted to. He got pushed back another day. So we renegotiated. I said, all right, that's fine. Gave him another $1,000 off or whatever. And yeah, man, closed it up.
Okay. So how did it come to the 12,650? You had to pay part of the closing costs or something?
Yeah, something like that. Because it's Section 8, the guy gets his checks. We talked to the Section 8 lady. She said for everything to be transferred over, she said it had to be proof that this guy bought the house.
Mm-hmm.
We needed to get it all in by the 17th. So we wanted to close December 15th. Didn't close until like the 18th.
Okay.
So that kind of put us back. So it was whatever. The buyer seemed like he was a good buyer. Things based out of state. So I said, okay, build. And he was like, this will help build our relationship if you can bring this price down a little bit. So,
okay. Go. Two things. Just really quick. With the seller, how much earnest money did you put up with the seller?
On my contract with the seller, I just put like $10 on there. I was like, just to make it binding, we got to do this, whatever. And I was like,
yeah, I got you.
I know what I was doing, but I was like, whatever. I didn't even send $10 in,
I got you. As far as this, the buyer side of it, what amount of earnest money did you request with them?
I think it was $3,000 or maybe $5,000. I've been watching Josh Gaiman on YouTube. He said to do it at least $5,000, but I've heard other guys say if it's under $100,000, you can maybe do like $3,000. But they dropped it in though. They got the EMD in, so I was I was trying to put a time limit on it. Like, all right, you guys got to get this in because I was coming close to the 14 because I had a 14-day inspection period. So I was like, if it's not in by the morning. And I actually had to renegotiate with him. He said, oh, yeah, well, can I get it in Friday?
Okay.
Okay, here we go, another tire kicker. So I said, look, I'll take $250 off the price. I said, right now, if you can get it in by the morning, I'll take $250 off the price. So I think that was my initial price drop. And then I wound up dropping it a little bit more because the closing attorney, we had some issues with that, some liens and stuff. So
I got you. So he was cool with using who you had set it up with as far as the closing attorney.
Right. Yeah. That's how I was I kind of learned to do it was, wholesale to use their own. So
yeah, I got you. What, as far as did you use the exact same contract you used with the seller with your buyer?
No, I didn't. I know that's how you do yours. I believe you got one sheet. I got mine through an attorney. It was a little bit more complex than I would have liked it to be, but I used a different one. And I actually modified it because I bought like a little wholesaling course from Josh Gaiman for $100.
Yeah.
And he had like some clauses in there that I liked, so I added those in there. Kind of with the time limit thing, hey, you got to get it in by tomorrow with the EMD or else it's null. So, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So now you from the time frame that you put it on the contract with the seller and you started marketing it, how long did it take to get the buyer that you had on the contract?
I would say it was about 10 or 11 days.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So now you have both contracts in place with the closing attorney. How long did it take to close it?
I think it was we set the closing date for the 15th, so that was like a week later. He got the EMD in because the other guy stalled me out for a week. So at that point, I had like a week left. So I made him drop the EMD in as soon as I talked to him. He was trying to, he was kind of trying to finagle me and stall me out, like I told you. He dropped it the next day, and I think we closed on the 18th or something like that. So it was about a week. It wasn't too long.
Okay.
But we had some liens pop up. There was like some water reservoir liens popped up from the county. The buyer, the attorney, the closing attorney, and the seller, they were both having some kind of communication issues because I didn't really know how much to pester the closing attorney.
Yeah.
Or, the last minute, the closing attorney's like, hey, seller, you didn't give me your bank account information yet. So like I'm getting this email CC to me and I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, come on guys, let's get the information in. And I think it was probably all of our fault, but that's why I got pushed back. So, just learning, man, just trying to figure it all out. Experience is the only thing that's really going to teach you all that. But next time I know, be a little more aggressive with the process.
I got you. So now you have both in place. How did the closing go? Was the buyer local or he was out of town?
Out of town.
Okay, so they didn't show up. So they did everything through mail and email or whatever on that side of it. So
Exactly.
Just explain real quick how the closing day went for you and picking up your money or them wiring you the money.
Man, it was so nerve wracking, man. It was like 3-4 days going on, kept getting pushed back, liens popping up. Okay, now I don't have the seller's the attorney didn't have the seller's routing number. the seller doesn't know how to take a picture of his ID with his phone. He doesn't know, I'm just like, geez Louise. He's a 60-year-old guy, but he's just an old country dude. So it was just nerve wracking, man. I'm working, I'm like checking my phone. You know how it is. They just wired it over to my account. So I eventually got it, but nerve wracking, man. Very nerve wracking.
Okay, so you didn't have to show it of the closing or anything. So he just went in and signed, and from there they just wired you your money. Okay, so boom. So yeah, that's an interesting story on how you got your first deal. So that was December 18th. So today is December 18th. I mean January 18th. So so that's a month later. So being a month later, what's the game plan for you? You got some money, I'm assuming you can put back into marketing. So what's your game plan now? What you got going?
Yeah, I paid myself like 30%. And then the other 70% I left. I formed an LLC, so I had the business account, the business banking account, maybe federal. So that was cool. Got about $4 or $5 grand from marketing. So I think I'm going to. I got batch leads. That's what my homeboy told me to get, batch leads with the texting. So I've been doing the texting. It's a lot of opt-out language got to be in there now. They're passing these spam laws. So it's really changed in the past 2 or 3 months to where you got to have, type stop to end. And it's like, I sent out like 500 texts last weekend, had 2 or 3 people maybe interested, but I'm sure they want full retail price. But I'm just going to do that, man. I think Batch has a new dialer out too. They got Batch dialer just dropped.
Correct.
I think for the easy integration, I'm going to just use those 2, man, and Bandit signs.
I got you. Well, wow, Kyle, man, I really appreciate you sharing your story with us, man. Any words of encouragement or anything you want to give people out there that's trying to do this, struggling, or whatever their situation? Anything you want to say to them to maybe help them out?
Hey, man, it ain't for everybody, man. A lot of people don't want to go out and put signs out at 7 a.m. People looking at you crazy. You just got to do it, man. Takes a lot of knowledge, a lot of information. Luckily with my job, I can drive around. I can look at properties. I'm driving all day, so I can sling a sign out here and there. It just takes a lot of grit, man. I mean, I'm not tooting my own horn or anything, but it's not easy putting out signs. It's not easy calling people. It takes a lot of learning. Keith Everett's acquisition course right now is like a few $100. Learning a lot of cold call stuff on that, negotiating, but just trying to scale up, man. I do have a question for you though. You ever put out any stickers? Because I was finding there's all these holes around here now, man.
Yeah, it ain't much I haven't tried, man. I had the once I had the brilliant idea to get first what I did, I found these business size magnets, and what I did is I had a print company to print out some labels, to say we buy houses, my contact information. So I had the brilliant idea that I was going to put them on gas pumps. Some parts of the gas pump is magnetic or whatever, and so I did a few of those. I think I may have got 1 or 2 calls, but I got more calls from the owners of the gas station, like, what the F are you doing?
I was watching some guy, Scott. That's what he's got a book. It's like a free ebook called Guerrilla Marketing, but he's got the drop. He's got the drop cards where it looks like a dollar bill and you fold it in half.
Yeah, that's an old one. That's an old method there. Well, a lot of them are old methods that still work or whatever. But yeah, so it ain't much.
Big stickers though, man, because I found some of them sticker company where you can get like 1,000 of them for like $700, but they're like 12 inches by 17 inches.
Oh wow, okay.
I wonder if I slap them on them poles, but I don't know if the city is going to be super pissed off.
Yeah, the only thing about that is that if it's a round pole, then you're going to probably miss some of your message is going to be missing. You know what I'm saying?
Once the poles are big, the poles are like 4 feet, diameter or whatever it is.
Oh, okay, yeah, that would work then. Okay. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. That's see with bandit signs, at least you can pull those down. Those stickers are hell to get off. You know what I'm saying? So but I'm always gonna side on doing something versus not doing anything. Absolutely. Because you never know. You know what I'm saying? So But again, man, I really, really appreciate you taking the time out to share your story. And guys, as I always say, we'll see you on the flip side.
Thanks, Flip.
Yes, sir.
Flip man, it's the flip man. Flip man. You want some money in your hand? Flipping houses without credit or your cash. Get that bag.